NBA is 77 years old, which sounds old, but we have presidential candidates that outdate the association. Not good. Either way, in those 77 years, we've seen many greats come and go, and many eras come and go, that have shaped the current era of basketball that we watch, debate, and love today. And as the game has evolved into what we see today, there are those from this current era that could step into a time machine in their primes and be just as important then as they are today. So today we're going to talk about 3 NBA greats from this current era, and I define these as players being in their prime in the past 10 years, who will be just as important and talked about then as they are now. But before I get into my first choice, please like and subscribe to the channel and help us get to that 1K sub goal. Also, if you're on a long ride home or just chilling in the gym and want more NBA breakdown and analysis, go over to the GOATcast podcast. Link will be in the description. For myself and Big Nigel's takes on what is going on in the NBA. Now my first choice is Russell Westbrook. For some reason, Russ doesn't quite get the respect he deserves. If it's a thought that his teammates helped him amass some of his stats to pad them during certain seasons, or if you're a hardcore Laker or LeBron fan that blamed him for what everyone knew was not a good fit, either way, the guy's a former league MVP and a guaranteed Hall of Famer. The reason I put him on this list may be the reason he doesn't get the flowers he should. He's a little throwback in today's NBA where it's all about the flash and finesse rather than raw and energetic. Russ's game isn't flashy like, say, a Steph, KD, or Dame Lillard. He's not a great mid-range guy or a three-point threat. He can hit from both areas though, and at times in high clips, but those are not his bread and butter, which today for some reason is how players are measured with their greatness. He's the energy full assault type of player. The guy that's going to attack the basket at almost every opportunity, and with his quick first step and almost unmatched athleticism in his prime, if he wanted to get to the basket, he did. He's also a beast on the boards for a guard. With his quickness and hops, able to swoop in over the trees and corral boards that most guards, even his size, wouldn't even put effort into going after. Even in the age of the big man, Westbrook would be a productive athlete on the court. While the trees of the 80s and 90s would be prepared to swat anything Russ brought into the paint, his toughness and tenacity could outmaneuver and outwill some of those guys that may be able to stop him once, but his quick second jump would be too much for them to stop. Also, with the right guys assembled around him, he could blow by his initial defender, and no one will mistake Westbrook for Magic Johnson. He is a top-notch passer and can get guys in their sweet spots even in high gear. Just imagine Russ alongside of Reggie Miller in Indiana, able to cause havoc and hit the open Reggie, or if he replaced Kevin Johnson in Phoenix with Barkley in the 90s. But Mike and those Bulls have been pushed to 7 games. For his career, Westbrook averages 21.9 points per game, 7.2 rebounds, 8.2 assists, and 1.6 steals. This is why he gets the nod from me to definitely be as much of a star, if not more, in the 80s and 90s. In an era where 3-point consistency wasn't a must and athleticism and toughness could get you far, he would excel and his strengths would be revered by his teams and teammates. Nikola Jokic. Most of these are no-brainers, so seeing this you should all pretty much know. Nikola Jokic is part throwback with the current gen upgrade. It's like he's a 90s big man with a 2K patch to bring his attributes into current times. At 6'11", Big Honey, I need him to change that nickname, would be amongst other trees back in the 80s and 90s era, but would not be overcome by their height or strength. Weighing in at 284, Jokic isn't built in a way that would prompt you to think he plays the way he does. You look at centers and big men now and how their body type is lean and shaped for a guy ready to play on the wing rather to battle inside for boards. Jokic is thick, strong, but extremely skilled. Once a coach that was stubborn to the ways of play in those days realized what they had in him, he would be an absolute nightmare for the league. A point center running your offense in the day of no zone and man-to-man defense would be an X and O terror for most coaches as to how to guard him, because you would not want your slow plodding centers trying to stay close to him and be drawn way out of the paint area. Not to mention his ability to shoot the three, which was an anomaly for big men in those days, and shooting 35% from three in his career, he would have likely caused the league to re-examine the way they defend and have to come up with some crazy schemes to slow him down. Averaging 20, 10, and 6.8 assists so far in his career, he would seamlessly fit on some of those teams from yesteryear. Although he'd have to get used to the physicality that is sorely missing today, and be prepared to be hit, smacked, and maybe at times bullied, but with his size and strength, I don't think it would take him too long to get acclimated. Imagine Jokic on the Miami Heat with Glenn Rice and Steve Smith, or Portland Trailblazers with Clyde, Terry Porter, and Danny Ainge of the 90s, with all those able shooters and his ability to make unique passes. LeBron James. I know some LeBron non-fans will say he couldn't handle the physicality and all that, but I'm not a LeBron fan myself. But I have to be real. LeBron James would be a beast in any era of the NBA. That's just facts. There are those transcendent players who just have or had the game figured out, and throwing any rule or style of play will not slow them down at all. Also, this is not me comparing him to Scottie Pippen. LeBron will never be the defender Scottie was, but LeBron perfected the point forward position that Scottie famously played throughout the 90s. With a high IQ for basketball, 6'9", around 250, he'd likely be asked to play power forward back then, but would blend into the small forward role at the same time. In an era that was physical, but had slower big men manning the paint, LeBron with his quickness could feast on those less agile centers and could probably blow by his defender depending on the player. His ability to see the floor and make magic happen would benefit most teams and could get some bigs that don't get a lot of touches going throughout the game. The main thing James could not do during these days is flop. With his strength and body control, he should be able to take contact from most bigs or power forwards and power himself through. His not great free throw shooting could be a downside for some teams that would need him late. He would definitely bump heads with some grown men from those days that are going to test his will and resolve, and we could see some classic matchups produced from this. Just imagine LeBron and Karl Malone or Charles Barkley having to deal with Dennis Rodman using every trick in the book to get under his skin. If he thinks Draymond and Dylan Brooks are bad, this would be a true test. LeBron James is one of the greatest players the NBA has seen, and he would make whatever franchise that handed him a jersey that much better. Would he be able to take one of those 90s teams and get them past those Jordan Bulls teams? Well, that's a breakdown for another time. So those are 3 current era NBA players that would be megastars in the 80s or 90s. Let me know in the comment section if you agree or disagree with these picks. And this is a series that I will likely return to. Also, I'm putting together 3 more players from the 80s and 90s that will cook in the current era, so be on the lookout for that. Also, if you want to ascend to GOAT status like number 23, please like and subscribe to the channel. Closing in on 1K and can't do it without you guys. Hope you all enjoyed the content and be back soon with more.